guys, welcome to my channel. For today, I have something that I always wanted to tell you all guys is the one book that will help all the beginners who wants to get into data science and know the flavor of data science. So let me tell you, this book is none other than a book by Abhishek Thakur. You are all well aware of him that being a Kaggle expert, he is known by several people in the community as one of the data leader, and his book called the Approaching Almost Any Machine Learning Problem. This book, I read it like a year ago. I realized that this book is one of a kind, not in terms of its detail or something, but it's a rare piece of content here, because in this book I can say that there are a lot of code in terms of use case. So yeah, let's get started. As you saw in the topic or in the title, you would have seen that I told that this book, all that is required for people who are getting into data science. And I have structured this video in three terms, in three divisions, that is why, what, and how. Why the book is important. As I said, this book gives the flavor of what data science is all about, and not just the flavor. It's not a theoretical explanation or anything, but this book gives you the details in terms of code. And I would say this book is also one-stop destination for anyone who wants to start their data science coding as well, like in terms of project relevant. So that's the first main point which I like to talk about, why this book is important. The other thing I always hear from beginners is that they always find difficulty in finding the right courses or the right books for learning or capturing knowledge for data science. So an answer, this book is definitely an answer for that, guys, because I can tell you that this books give you the topics that are only relevant. I'm not telling that this book covers all the details, but I can tell you that this book covers all the relevant details that are actually used on the job. That is very important, because that you see there are several topics you can learn theoretically, but in on the job you are not going to do everything. A machine learning project always doesn't go through all the flavors of models, right? Or some use cases are different, sometimes you use different modeling. So here what I can see is that this book gives you only the relevant things that is required to master. And I must say this is definitely an easy solution for people who feel that there are several resources online and I'm confused what I have to do. So this book is one stop destination for all the people who are looking to get into data science. And the another point that I would like to say is that this book consists of lot of coding, like for example, we have data, then you do data manipulation, you import libraries, then you do data manipulation, you do analysis, then you do feature engineering, selection, then modeling. So all that steps are covered here in terms of coding. So the author has provided the details here in such a way that he goes from the first point to the end. So this book is important in terms of that the whole use case is solved in terms of coding. So yeah guys, so these are the points that I think that why this book is really very important. Now that we finished looking into why this book is important, let's go into detail what this book is all about. This book is divided in a couple of sections. So the first thing is setting up the project. So in every data science book, they always talk about starting from importing libraries. As far as my experience, whatever I've read or gone through in several books, read through several books, is that I've never seen a dedicated chapter for setting a Python or Anaconda installation. So this book did that, and the first chapter is setting up environment. So here you can find that the author gives us the code on what needs to be done. That's one thing. And the second thing is other than setting up, the first and foremost is an introduction of what is supervised learning and what is unsupervised algorithm. So here he just gives a brief description. If we are not, it's not been a detailed description here, so it's just one or two pages of what the whole idea of supervised and unsupervised. And this third thing is very important, guys. He has listed out all the important topics like evaluation metric, cross validation, feature engineering, feature selection. These are the things that are really important when you work on a data science project. And in terms of cross validation, he talks about k-fold, k-stratified fold methods. Evaluation metric, you can find things like precision recall, F1 score, then AUC curve, all that. And for the feature selection, you can find things like lasso selection, ridge selections, and all the other methodologies used for feature selection. And for feature engineering, he talks about how data can be manipulated in terms of changing the date, time according to the use case. And also he talks about time series data, where a lot of data engineering has to be done, feature engineering has to be done. And yeah, so these are the important topics addressed here with examples. That is, examples in the sense with coding. The author did not just provide a syntax. I can say that the author has provided a code in terms of in a full scale project. So that is there. The another important topic addressed is the approaching categorical variables. So categorical variables come on different types, guys: nominal, ordinal, and cyclical and binary. So here the author says how you can handle these kind of variables in terms of using encoding techniques like label encoding or one hot encoding and several others. This is an important topic that is important for us to like literally learn and apply in every categorical variable that is there. And the final important thing I realized is the hyperparameter optimization. Hyperparameter optimization, if you are new to this topic, this could be little bit difficult, but this is one of the important topic, guys, because once you develop a model, that's not it. You have to try to tweak the features or tweak the parameters so that you finally get the right appropriate accuracy or the result that you're looking for. It's not always about accuracy. So the result you're looking for, you will be in a position to always tweak the hyperparameters. So this is addressed here again with code. These are the sections that are addressed in terms of what this book is all about. And now I can tell you on how this book can be used and approached. So the final section of the book here you can see is there are a couple of projects mentioned. For example, there is a section called approaching image classification projects. So in terms of approaching image classification projects, he has provided a detailed project explanation of a project which is image classification of pneumonia disease. So here the author has taken his time, and he has also given the code on how you can read the data, try employing neural network algorithms to classify the data set. And so these are the things being used, and that's how you can approach a data. So in terms of how you can use the data set, is this section of the book can be used as one of your can be used to develop an idea for your portfolio, guys. So that's why this part is really important to follow. And the another important project mentioned is this text classification. So for text classification, this comes under sentiment analysis or any relevant data mining text analytics. So here the author talks a lot about NLP tools, and he also talks about TF-IDF methods. As I said, so this section also consists of a complete code as a project. You can see the data set being read and how he manipulates the data and transforms the data according to the text analytics project. Another project that is addressed here is approaching ensembling and stacking. So not the right person to talk a lot about this, but this chapter is I can say these kind of projects are not well used in it's not most commonly used in many organization or many teams. So but I can say that he has covered certain topics that are important. So this is one of the topic to address here along with coding. The final thing is I would like to say is the bonus tip, guys. The book actually does not just end with just explaining topics on data science, how to build a model and how to address a project. But here you can see two things I really liked, and which I would like to mention in the bonus category is how to arrange a project. So how to arrange a project in the sense in terms of folder structure, in terms of how you need to name your files, and in what category those structures should be maintained. All of this is addressed in one section or one chapter, And that's really important, guys, because when you are working in a team, you need to probably have a certain default names that are associated with your team or company, so that's need to be maintained, so that's addressed. The second thing is that when you are sharing the data or sharing the code folder to the other team members, it's easier to always have a maintained or proper structure so that they don't get confused. So that's very important, guys. So this book covers how you need to maintain a particular project. Another thing I really liked about that I wanted to mention the bonus category is, after completing a model or after finding prediction or accuracy, the data science problem doesn't end there. You need to build or deploy it, right? So the best way to do that is through Docker container, and he has given us how to start up a Docker container and how to create a Dockerized file. He has taken time to uh, give us the code and the output that can be expected from the code. So that is there, and once that is completed, once you created a Docker container and all, the next step is to serve the model. So in order to serve the model, the final result either could be an API, which is a micro web services. So here he talks a lot about Flask. So people who don't know Flask, this is a way that you can start incorporating Flask in your portfolio projects, because this is the API that it comes as an app form where user can give their user inputs and then predict the final output. It can be either a classification model, or it can be a continuous variable prediction. So any of it. So this is the final output that he has talked about. So yeah, guys, so that's the two things that I wanted to address in bonus category. And for the final thing, I want to, my thoughts about this book is that the book is actually great, guys. As I said in the beginning of the video, is that when a lot of people are very confused on, there are several resources available online, and sometimes can feel confused, you'll be overwhelmed on what you need to study, right? The second thing which I didn't like about this book is that the chapters are not separated well enough, because although we have an index page, we can see an index page in this book. The if you look into the chapters as I'm showing now, if you see here, the headlines, the chapter headings are not bold enough for us to differentiate that this is the next chapter. So yeah, that's kind of confusing for us, because we make a mistake on thinking that this is a continuation of the previous chapter. So that's not it. So if at all this was corrected, it would be better. So yeah, that's all my thoughts about this book. But like I said, guys, this book is really important, and I feel this book is on a budget. I think all of us students can buy this book. And yeah, that's all, guys. I hope this video was really useful. If you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe. Catch you on for the next video.